What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Nas. Yes, indeed. Nas fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bibbidi bop, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from JFK, and this is actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of November for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, JFK. Hope you enjoy the show, man. JFK wanted to see me react to this. It is Nas featuring Olu Dara, I hope I pronounced that name right, doing a tune called Bridging the Gap. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by D7 TV Radio, okay? And the video has 84,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Nas featuring Olu Dara, hope I pronounced the name right, Bridging the Gap. Love this. Thank you so much, PMRC. You made so many bands rich because of your little parental advisory sticker. That was such a great backfire. Oh my God, it was so good. Thank you very much, PMRC. Seriously, thank you. Because you made a lot of musicians a lot of money. All because of that. Record sales skyrocketed. All because of that little sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
The light is there. Yeah. You see, I come from Mississippi.
Oh.
I was young and running wild. Ended up in New York City, where I had my first child. I named the boy Nasir. All the boys call him Nas. I told him as a youngster, he'll be the greatest man alive. Let's go.
Pick it up.
Hey, Chuck Berry of this rap skit. Styles I mastered, many brothers snatched it up and tried to match it. But I'm still #1, everyday real. Speak what I want, I don't care what y'all feel, cause I'm my own master. My pop told me be your own boss, keep integrity at every cost, and his home was Natchez, Mississippi. Did it like Miles and Dizzy, now we getting busy, bridging the gap from the blues to jazz to rap. The history of music on this track. Born in the game, discovered my father's music like Prince searching through boxes of Purple Rain. But my Minneapolis was the bridge, home of the super kids. Some are well known, some doing bids. I might have ended up on the wrong side of the tracks if Pops wouldn't have pulled me back and said, yo. See, I come from Mississippi. I was young and running wild. Ended up in New York City, New York, where I had my first child. That's me, y'all.
some really interesting things happening. And I'm not, listen, for those of you expecting to come here and, hear me talk about the lyrics or the meaning of the lyrics or how deep the lyrics are, I got some bad news for you. I don't do lyrics. Lyrics, to me, go right over my head. I have tried, for as long as I can remember, I have tried my best to interpret lyrics, and I suck at it because I don't get them. I get the music, though. When it comes to theory, musical progression, chordal progressions, time signatures, key signatures, dynamics, no problem. No problem at all. Lyrics, not my thing. But there are some really interesting things happening here musically. I like the intro. I really like the intro with that blues, man. Doom, doom, ba, ba, doom, doom, ba, ba, doom, doom, ba, ba, doom, ba, da, 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 ba, da, ba, doom. Got that Chicago blues going. Really nice. But here's the thing. It kicked up in tempo. And that was still going on. You could feel it in the bass, the keyboard, the guitar. It was all still, the harmonica, it was all still there with that 6 feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doom, ba, dum, ba, da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see what I mean? It's still there, but the drum pattern switched into this straight ahead 4 feel. And you got that 4 feel against the 6. It's lining up. It is lining up, but the feels are very contrasting. But here's the thing. They're contrasting in a way that works. And I think it's because nobody else but the drummer switched their feel. The only thing that switched the feel was the drummer. Even the vocals are still in that 6. It's just the drummer switched to a straight ahead 4/4 pattern, as opposed to everybody else who's still following that 6 feel. You know what I mean? It's working. It is absolutely working. And I gotta be honest with you folks, when I first heard it kick in, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a train wreck. But the longer it's going on and the more I'm listening to it, the more intrigued I'm becoming, and the more I don't want to say, I'm not going to sit here and say it's fitting like a glove, but the more acceptable I'm finding it to my ears. Like, the more I'm seeing how it is gelling. It is working. So, it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. Let's keep going here.
The boy not still. Yeah. All the boys call him now.
That's what's up.
I told him as a youngster, he'll be the greatest man alive. Greatest man alive. Yeah, great man
The blues came from gospel for blues. Slaves are harmonizing them ahs and oohs. Old school, new school, no school rules. All these years I've been voicing my blues. I'm an artist from the start. Hip-hop got in my heart. Graffiti on the wall, could've ended in Sparfit. Juvenile delinquent. But Pops gave me the right type of tools to think with. Books to read, like X and stuff. Cause the school said the kids had dyslexia. In our class I was a compulsive sketcher of teachers in my homeroom. I drew pics to mess them up. Cause none of them would like my style. Read more books than the curriculum profile.
The more I hear it, the more I'm digging it.
Child, cause he's writing mad poems and his verses are wild.
I was born in Mississippi. I was young and running wild. Moved to New York City, where I had my first child. I named the boy Nasir. All the boys call him now.
It's almost to the point now where I miss the 4/4. I was just sitting here grooving to the 6 feel. Doom, doom, da, doom, 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 da. And all I could think of was, I want that 4/4 time back. I don't believe this. I actually want that 4/4 time back. Man, that is so weird. That is so weird to me. But I'm missing that 4/4. Isn't that is so bizarre. So bizarre.
Moved to New York City, where I had my first child. I named the boy Nasir. All the boys call him now. I told him as a youngster,
bring it back.
he'll be the greatest man alive. The greatest man, the greatest man alive.
Bring it back. Here we go, I think.
My papa was not a rolling stone.
Yes.
He been around the world blowing his horn. Still he came home. Then he got grown, changed his name to Olu. Come on, tell him about all the places you've gone to.
I've been to Saudi Arabia, Mozambique,
Yeah.
Madagascar, Paris, Greece.
Uh-huh.
But Little Africa is where we live.
Yeah.
Better known as
Queen, Bridge, Nas, you don't stop. Olu Dara in the house, you don't stop. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, you don't stop.
Muddy
From
Waters.
the blues to street hop, you don't stop.
I heard
Tell 'em,
that
Pop,
name.
Yeah, I come from Mississippi.
Let him know,
I was young and running wild.
running wild.
Ended up in New York City,
Yeah,
where I had my first child.
that's me.
I named the boy Nasir.
Yeah, daddy,
All the boys call him now.
love you, boy.
I told him as a youngster, he'll be the greatest man alive.
You the greatest, Pop.
Greatest man alive.
You the greatest, Pop.
Great man alive. Rest in peace, Rach.
I heard the Muddy Waters. I heard the Muddy Waters reference. Can't help but notice that. Lots of respect to Muddy Waters. Probably one of the, I don't know if I would say the greatest, but definitely without question, one of the greatest vocalists in blues. This was such an interesting journey. And I am using that word journey. I'll explain what I mean by that in the review. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Nas featuring Olu Dara with a tune called Bridging the Gap. This was a request from JFK, and this was actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of November for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, JFK. I hope you enjoyed the show, man. This was interesting. This was very, very interesting. And I think the score is going to reflect that. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.4. Yup, 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, I feel like JFK is sending me a lot of blues. The last reaction I did, I filmed it yesterday. The last reaction I did for JFK was for Muddy Waters and the band, which I thought was really cool. And it was blues, you know, Muddy Waters, come on now. You can't help but, you know, pay respect to Muddy Waters, one of the greatest legends, absolute legends in the blues community. I couldn't help but notice the shout out during the song here. I don't normally pay attention to the lyrics because they go over my head, but I couldn't help but notice the Muddy Waters name drop there. Very, very cool. Way to pay respect. I used the word journey during this, and there's a very specific reason why I'm using that word. When the song started, and we had that blues feel. That 6 feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, we were at a little bit of a slower tempo, and it, you know, blues in that style, that 1, 4, 3, 1. You know, when you hear that, it's usually at a slower tempo. Usually. Now listen, you can play blues at whatever tempo you want. It really depends on what you're shooting for. But usually that chordal progression, you're gonna usually have a little bit of a slower tempo. And I was really into it. I felt it. It was nice. You know, everybody was locked in. Everybody was laid back. Everybody was sitting back in the pocket and grooving. It felt nice. And then this accelerando happened. We went faster, and all of a sudden the drums kicked in. And the drums, rather than fit in to the 6 pattern, decided to do a straight ahead 4/4 feel pattern. Just a straight ahead. Against the and I'm sitting here going, this is gonna be a train wreck. I was scared. I was like, oh no. This is gonna be horrible. And I'm listening to it. 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 And my entire feel about that changed over the course of about a minute and a half. Where I went from dreading this. This is gonna be an absolute tragedy. This is gonna be an absolute train wreck. Get your cameras out, folks, and get ready to post on YouTube. But then by the time about a minute to a minute and a half went by, I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm getting sold on this. This is working. And I know exactly why it was working. It's because it was only the drummer who took off on that straight feel. Everybody else, guitar, bass, harmonica, piano, everybody else followed the 6/8. It was only the drummer. If even one more voice, whether it be guitar, piano, heaven forbid bass, no. But if any other voice had followed with the drummer and gone into that straight 4 feel, I think it would have crashed and burned. I don't think it would have worked. But because everybody else stayed reserved and everybody else stayed laying back in the pocket and everybody else remained on that 6 feel, I think it worked beautifully. I was really, really pleasantly surprised by that. I love the switching between the mesh of the 6 feel with the straight ahead 4. I love the mixing of that and then having it lay out, having the 4/4 lay out and go back to the straight 6. It kept, not the straight, the laid back 6. It really kept the listeners on their toes. I mean, there was a pattern. Yes, you could find the pattern. It's like 8 bars plus 2. But it's at the same time though, it was, as much as it was anticipatable, it was welcome because it did help break up the monotony of what could have potentially been a very monotonous song. But because they took those steps, it didn't feel monotonous at all. Not at all. I think this was a great example of playing with feel, playing with time, in time meaning tempo. That's what I meant to say, not time, tempo. Adding and subtracting, having voices enter and having voices taken out, staggered. This was a great example of how to take a very, very simple tune and turn it into something far more great than it could have been without each other. Like, you could have taken these patterns and played them by themselves, and they would have sounded just fine. You put them together, and I swear to you, it should not work, but it does. It absolutely does. And I'm sorry, but I think they did a great job melding it. I really do. And I'm not gonna lie, I gave it a little bit of a nudge up because of the Muddy Waters reference. I'm sorry, man, but Muddy Waters is blues. And I know a lot of people may not know this, but blues is actually the very first musical style to be born in America. I know a lot of people who say country music. Guys, we wouldn't have country if we didn't have blues first. We would not have rock and roll. We would not have heavy metal. We would not have deathcore. We would not have metalcore. We would not have nu metal. We would not have hard rock. We would not have bands like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, the Rolling Stones. They would never have existed if it wasn't for the blues. The blues was the very first form of music to be born in America. And it's unfortunate the way that it was born, the circumstances behind its birth. I will never condone those things, but at the same time, it's because of those things that we got the blues. And from the blues, we got everything else. So you gotta give respect to the blues, guys. I don't care if you're a metalhead, a hard rock fan, a country fan, it doesn't matter. If you're a fan of any of these styles of music, you had better pay homage to the blues. Plain and simple. Anyway, 8.4, I feel really good about that score, and that is where we're gonna stay. So, 8.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.